Hi, welcome back to Movie Digest. In this video I'm going to explain the 2023 sci-fi comedy movie, titled Jules. Spoilers ahead. Milton is a retired man who lives alone and never interacts with anyone. His daily activities are watching TV and watering the azaleas in his backyard. Every week he walks to the city council meeting, where he complains about the town slogan, and asks for another crosswalk in the avenue. His daughter Denise frequently checks on him to help him pay his bills. Denise realizes Milton's memory is failing after she finds green beans can in his bathroom cabinet. One night, while Milton was sleeping, a bright light came across the window and then a loud noise. He wakes up and goes to investigate it, and is shocked to find a crashed UFO in his backyard. It also crushed his flowers. He calls 911 to report it, but the operator thinks it's a prank, and warns him that making such calls to emergency services is felony and hangs up. Milton attends the weekly city council meeting the following day and brings the same two complaints but doesn't mention the UFO. Also attending the meeting are his neighbors Joyce and Sandy, who want to get involved in the community. That evening, Milton checks his backyard to find an alien has crawled out from the UFO, and is laying its face down on his patio. Milton gets scared and calls Denise, only to find her voicemails are full. But Milton still leaves her a message about the alien and UFO and says he is scared. The next morning, he arrives at the council meeting, where he complains about the UFO crashed in his backyard, destroying his birdbath and azaleas. But the council doesn't answer and moves to the next opinion. Joyce warns him outside the council hall that he shouldn't talk like that as people would think he has gone mad. Sandy then asks him if he is okay and offers him a ride home. Joyce sees them as they are leaving. She drops Milton off at home and offers to drive him around whenever he wants. After she has left, Milton goes to check on the alien, who raises its head and sees him before passing out. Milton then covers the alien with a blanket and leaves a glass of water. The next morning, Milton finds the alien sitting on the ground wrapped in a blanket. So he invites it inside as it's warmer in there. Milton then brings different food items on a tray, wondering what the alien eats. It only liked the sliced apple. Since it was the last apple, Milton goes to the store to get more apples. The clerk notices it's more than usual, and Milton tells him it's for the alien in his house as the ship crashed in his backyard a couple of nights ago, leaving the clerk in shock. Milton returns home and finds that alien is walking now, so he shows it around. He then shows his family picture and shares his daughter lives in town, and his son lives far away and doesn't call much. Later that day, Denise goes for groceries and learns about Milton's odd behavior from the clerk. Denise comes over to check on Milton and talks to him from the doorstep, while the alien is inside watching TV and eating apples. Since she doesn't see the alien, she wants Milton to consider seeing a doctor for a checkup. Milton reluctantly agrees, and Denise leaves as she's getting late for work. Sandy calls Milton and asks if he has a printer, so she can print out her flyers for the project to connect older people with younger people. When she arrives at his home, she finds the alien lying on the sofa and almost passes out. Milton tells her that he believes the creature to be a friendly alien that only eats apples. She warns Milton that he should keep it a secret, as the word about UFOs and aliens will bring the government into the picture, and they know what they would do to aliens. Meanwhile, Joyce goes by the driveway and notices Sandy's car is parked at Milton's house. Milton and the alien watch TV at night, where Milton falls asleep on the couch. The next morning, he wakes up to find himself tucked in with a blanket by the alien. It also left a note to Milton, which is a drawing of a cartoon cat face. He goes to the backyard to find the alien trying to fix the ship. Milton thanks it for the picture and calls it in for breakfast. That afternoon, Sandy babysits the alien while Milton goes to see the therapist. Sandy keeps talking to alien and shares that she has a daughter who lives far away. She shows alien the picture of her daughter, who is in a relationship with another woman, and they have a son. She was welcoming when her daughter came out, but the other woman's mother was unhappy, so they ended up staying there and trying to butter her up, and they had never visited her in the last 3 years. Meanwhile, Milton is asked to take some memory tests at the therapist's appointment. He passed the first test but failed the other 2 tests. The therapist asks if he leaves objects in random places. He says it never happened, but Denise reveals that she found a can of beans in the bathroom cabinet and a newspaper in the freezer. Milton gets frustrated and storms out of the room, accusing Denise that she set him up. The following day, Sandy brings a t-shirt and dresses it like a child, as the alien will not be naked. Sandy thinks they should give it a name and call it Jules. But Milton thinks it's not necessary. That evening, they are having dinner at the table. They are unaware that Joyce is spying on them, and she looks through the window and sees the alien. Joyce then knocks on the door and tells Sandy she saw the alien. They had no choice but to bring her in, and Joyce insisted that she would also be a part of it and keep the alien's existence a secret. The alien hands Milton another drawing of 7 cartoon cat faces. The alien has been drawing the same thing repeatedly, making them wonder if it is trying to say something. Cut to the National Security Center, where many agents listen into phone conversations to find something about aliens or spaceships, and one of them hears a woman talking about the spaceship, and he puts that on high alert. 2 men in suits show up at that house to investigate but find nothing. The next scene shows Sandy at home when she receives a call responding to her flyer. A young man is seeking a connection with her. Even though he is in his 20s, he still wants to meet her, and Sandy invites him over. Joyce arrives at Milton's house with a box of apple slices. She finds the alien working on the spaceship. Soon they end up sitting on the couch, where Joyce tells the alien that she was quite a beauty when she was young, lived in a big city where she had all the pleasure, and then mentions she was a singer once and starts putting on a show. Meanwhile, Sandy invites the young man into her home. He says he is 27, while she is 72. They chat briefly before the guy says he needs to use the bathroom. But Sandy finds him stealing her jewelry. She warns him that she will call the cops, and the guy chases after her. Surprisingly, the alien sees the guy attacking Sandy and choking her in her mind. Soon the alien's skull turns deep blue for a moment and then clears up. The scene shifts to Sandy's house, where blood is all over. The police are questioning her to take them through what happened again. Sandy says he was on top of her and choking her, and then suddenly his head exploded. The cops suspect her and ask her how something strange happened in her house, and she realizes that Jules must have helped her. Sandy arrives at Milton's place and hugs the alien, saying it saved her life. Milton suspects that the alien might be dangerous, but Sandy thinks it's only dangerous when someone is dangerous to them, and they decide to be on alien's side. Here we learn that the alien can understand their conversation. Later, Milton tries to shave and apply cream on his face, but he can't find his razor. After a moment, he wipes out the shaving cream, forgetting to shave. Sandy takes Milton to the store to get some apples. Denise confronts him in the parking lot. She is surprised that he is hanging out with Sandy. When he tries to avoid her, Denise apologizes for that day, and mentions that she is worried about him. Milton says he is fine, but she asks what all the apples are for, and he cuts her off and leaves. That afternoon, while the 4 of them are having lunch, Sandy senses a rotting smell, like something is dead. Soon enough, they find a dead cat outside. Milton thinks the alien killed the cat, but Sandy points out the tire mark on it. The alien then hands him a new drawing of 6 cartoon cat faces. They soon realize that the alien needs 7 dead cats to fix his spaceship, and they decide to help. Since Denise is a vet, Milton calls her to ask what they would do to the dead cats in their clinic. Denise gets increasingly worried over having such a strange conversation. Since Milton was not getting any information, he hung up. He and Sandy head out and drive carefully through the town in search of dead cats, while a police car is tailing Sandy everywhere she goes, as they are suspicious of how the head must have blown. While in the car, Milton asks Sandy about her late husband, who died after facing a similar health issue to Milton's. As he wants to know how things will change. Sandy shares that when the symptoms of forgetting started, it was with the little things, like forgetting words and keeping things in unusual places. She then tells him not to worry and enjoy life. He suddenly tells her to stop. Sandy thinks he is getting uncomfortable, but she soon learns he found the dead cat. He quickly takes out the shovel and collects it into a trash bag, and the cops are left clueless about what to make of Milton and Sandy. They return home with 3 dead cats, and Joyce gets 3 more. Now they need only 1 more cat get the ship ready. Suddenly they heard a bell, and Sandy was scared to find the agents standing outside. The alien quickly hides, but they do not answer the door, and the agents eventually leave. They realize the time is running short and they must act quickly. Milton suggests killing Joyce's cat, as it's 14 years old, deaf, blind, and can't walk. She gets enraged, since the cat is like her child. But after a brief thought, Joyce realizes it would be the best for him. She holds the cat and tells the alien to proceed. The alien's head turns blue, and the cat is dead without its head exploding. It arranges all the cats under a silver cloth and transforms it into an oval red jewel. The alien then installs it into the ship. It successfully tests the ship, and it is set to fly. Unfortunately, the National Security Center detects the spacecraft. They call the 2 agents to get back to Milton's house. They give the alien a goodbye gift to remember them. Joyce gives him a snow globe of New York, while Sandy gives him a sweater. Milton then gives the alien his pictured ID so it will never forget what he looks like. The alien then uses the sweeping arm motion and invites Milton to come with him. He decides to go since he doesn't want Denise to see him getting worse every year. He then hears the phone ring, and it's Denise. She apologizes, she doesn't want to fight and wants to hang out with him, which makes him emotional, and decides to stay there for his daughter. He then tells Denise that he has to check the calendar. The agents arrive at Milton's house and try to break down the door. He quickly runs to the backyard and takes Joyce and Sandy into the spacecraft. It quickly takes off, and they escape from the agents. The spaceship lands at some place, and the door opens. They find themselves in an environment with giant boulders. They soon realize they are in a quarry near the house. They say goodbye to the alien, and Milton tells it that he has a change of heart and wants to stay on Earth to be with his daughter. So they wave goodbye to the alien. A few days pass, and they meet at Milton's house. Joyce and Sandy wonder if the alien still remembers them. Milton remains silent. Later that night, as Milton sits alone on his couch, we see the light move across the back window, and Milton smiles as he realizes that the alien has returned. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.